Bernie Sanders is warning his party that supporting a genocide may cost them the upcoming election. You have to warn your party about genocide? The moment I have to warn my party about genocide, I'm no longer part of that party. Bernie Sanders, in an MSNBC interview, was essentially begging Joe Biden to stop sending weapons to Israel.
Are you worried about November?
Yeah, I am. Well, obviously, no matter what, it's going to be a difficult election, and I'm going to do everything that I can, despite my disagreement with the president over what's going on in Gaza, to make sure that Donald Trump is not elected president of the United States. That would be a horrific disaster for our country. But do I think that a lot of young people of color, many people, I mean, the polling is very clear. The Democratic base wants to stop funding for Netanyahu's war machine. So if your question is it going to hurt the president unless he turns this around? Yeah, it will.
How pathetic is it that Bernie Sanders has to beg the person that he endorsed for president to stop being a criminal? Yes, like I covered many times before, Biden is a criminal who is breaking Leahy's law by sending weapons to a country that is committing mass human rights violations. Hey, but Nick, don't you know that Joe Biden is very upset with Netanyahu? Nick, don't you know that Biden called Netanyahu a bad fucking guy? If Israel goes into Rafah, Biden is going to give Netanyahu a stern talking to. Meanwhile, in reality, Joe Biden sent Israel 2,000-pound bombs as they were drawing up their Rafah plan. Well, Biden did show that he's upset about Israel striking and killing aid workers in Gaza, and Joe Biden said he's not going to change his policy in Gaza, despite Israel purposely targeting aid workers. This is the person that Bernie and the progressive left is trying to sell us as a good faith actor. It's very important to remember that Bernie Sanders is not the good guy in this story. He didn't support a ceasefire until months and months after this conflict. It took thousands and thousands of dead children for Bernie to realize that he was on the wrong side of history after supporting Israel.
In terms of a permanent ceasefire, I don't know how you could have a permanent ceasefire with Hamas, who has said before October 7th and after October 7th that they want to destroy Israel. They want a permanent war. I don't know how you have a permanent ceasefire with an attitude like that.
Literally no one is falling for the transparent attempt by Bernie Sanders to wash the blood off his hands.
It is disgusting. Liar, liar, genocide denier. Liar, liar, genocide denier.
Israel just killed 7 members of the World Central Kitchen that were delivering aid to Gaza in missile strikes that they claimed were unintentional. Now, the World Central Kitchen is a neutral nonprofit that goes to front lines and provides fresh meals. And so far, they've provided over 350 million meals to people who've needed all around the world. And of course, the company was with a certain sense of urgency because right now it's Ramadan and they're trying their hardest to get these meals to the Palestinians in Gaza who've been fasting all day and are trying to celebrate their holiday. Now, of course, the sad truth is we're actually used to Israel killing civilians, bombing volunteers, bombing journalists, whoever. But this particular case is truly disturbing. Before we even get into the particulars about what happened, let's talk about the fact that the Mossad tried to blame Hamas out the gate for what took place. They tried to say it appears that they were killed by a bomb planted on the side of the road by Hamas. For real, bro? And hell, maybe if this was a bomb that accidentally exploded that Israel planted on the side of the road, not knowing what route they were taking, this wouldn't be so bad. But it's actually much more nefarious. Like I said in the beginning, Netanyahu said that they didn't really mean to kill all those volunteer workers, but that's bullshit. According to Haaretz, a Israeli news publication, they knew that those cars were marked. They knew the organization that those cars belonged to. They knew that those workers were volunteers. They only even looked into what was happening because there was supposedly one armed man that they believed was a terrorist. Oh, but it gets better because before the WCK decided to leave on their approved route, a safety route approved by Israel, the armed man left the vehicle and never left the warehouse. In other words, none of those vehicles had the man that initiated the suspicions of Israel. And even though they knew that armed man was not with the volunteers on that route that Israel approved, they shot a missile and hit them anyway. Oh, but when the first missile didn't destroy all three of the vehicles, and then the people who managed to escape the first missile strike switched vehicles, they shot another one. Oh, but when that didn't do the job, even though that armed man still isn't there and they're still on the approved route, they went ahead and shot another one just in case. And I need y'all to understand this wasn't about killing a few workers who were intent on helping get aid and food to Gaza. This was actually about preventing tons of aid from getting to Gaza. Because after this strike, all the boats turned around and the WCK had to cancel all operations in Gaza. 240 tons of aid will no longer be reaching the mouths that need it. But sure, let's let Netanyahu lie to our fucking faces again and pretend like this wasn't intentional and that wasn't his goal. These people are fucking evil, bro. And they really deserve everything that they got coming to them.
Ever since, what was it, fucking 4 years ago? Well, I quit my job and I would work on the Bernie campaign. Guys, ever since I quit my job and I knocked door to door on thousands of people's doors, I've never had a break. It's been nonstop, my friend. I love it. I'm not complaining, man. Like, we went straight from work on the Bernie campaign, starting a mutual aid organization. Before that, I started 10 Demands, even before the Bernie campaign. So I was in abolition work. Then I was on the Bernie campaign. Then we started RBN. Then I started my own mutual aid chapter in Kansas City. Then we did multiple summits. I'm not gonna lie, man. It kind of gets to me after a while. Like, I've been nonstop in the trenches. So, like, I realized I've been doing prep talks to myself on this show. Well, I'm like, guys, it's okay to take a break. Remember, I just did that rant like 2 weeks ago. I was giving a prep talk to myself. I realized I was so burned out. I think it probably was affecting my commentary, maybe. So I hope you guys don't mind that I took Tuesday and Thursday off. That's why I had to come here with my brother, my HotSpot brother today. What should we call this? This is like the HotSpot Live. My brother,
man, we in this bitch. It's going down.
What's popping? My man has a son now. My man,
man,
it means
boy,
something else now. Like, I tried
boy, he woke up fat as hell this morning, dog. Like, I could barely carry it. It was crazy. Like, last night he was a little bit irritable. Then he woke up and was trying to stand up. Like, he was heavy as hell. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, yeah. He's growing up fast, bro.
This little dude's about to be smart as hell, bro. It's been mentored by Niko House, man. So
his mom's smart too. His mom is hella smart. So yeah. That
motherfucker's destined for great things, man. He's destined for great things.
I hope that he helps other people fulfill their destiny. That's what his name actually is. So Lachesis means basically the decider of fate. That's why I named him that. So yeah, that's gonna be all right. He's gonna be all right.
And it's always good to have Niko on RBN. I say it all the time before. Before there was RBN, there was Niko House, my friends. And it wasn't a coincidence. I saw you was on Sabby and JB show. We didn't plan that, by the way, because Niko, he had a son. You know what I mean? We gotta get this man the time off. I tried my best to carry HotSpot on my back.
Look, you work for the same people I work for, bro. I took 2 weeks off, and that was a problem. God damn it. They were like, "Hey, we need you to come back, dog." I was supposed to take a month off, like, because I was the same way as you, man. You know how it was. Like, when I started in 2016, I was on the same tip, bro. I was organizing and doing my show and traveling, and bro. And one day, I just woke up like, "Yo, nigga, I'm exhausted. What the fuck?" Exhausted. And like you were saying, it did actually start affecting my commentary. I couldn't formulate sentences correctly. Like, it was, like, my research was suffering because, like, my thought pathways weren't kind of opening the way that they had in the past. Because I was just exhausted, man. Sometimes you just gotta be like, look, y'all, I love y'all, but y'all, you know, it's great that we have all the support. But bro, we are not machines. We like to think that sometimes, but we can't. Eventually you will burn out if you don't take a break.
Yeah, you guys can tell I'm tired because I start mumbling more. Yeah, I think it's Thursday. I'm very self-aware, guys. I know I fuck
So I
up.
sound like
I mean,
Boone
you
Howard.
guys know I'm tired when I do that. I'm more energetic. Hopefully, I sound better. I'll be tired. Like, all right, welcome, nigga. I'm fucking tired. Hope you guys enjoyed today. I tried to carry HotSpot on my back. It's not the same without Niko though, because it's like banger. Like I come out with videos.
We got a nice little 1-2 punch going, bro. Honestly, we do. We really do.
I love working on HotSpot now. I love the work that we do. Like I was talking shit with RBN for a long time, talking about how we need to get into short videos. Like long streams is good, but we need to reach people with multiple different attention spans. Like I'll maybe watch 30, 40 minutes a show. Like someone had a 2-hour show, I'll probably watch 30, 40 minutes. And that way YouTube algorithm show the average person to kind of watch around 30, 40 minutes. Then there's a whole nother segment, a whole nother market where people more into like 2-3 minute videos.
It's so wild, bro. Literally, it's one or the other. It's like they either want to watch the whole hour podcast or they only want 2 minutes and they ain't want to really. If you got like that weird little 8-minute segment, the only really people that hell, even 20 minutes you can get away with. But like that little 5 to 8 minute, that used to be the prime like time limit on YouTube. And now, like, if you try to get away with that shit, you really like people are like, I'm not gonna get enough information for me to sit here for another extra 3 minutes. I'm just go to the podcast. I'm gonna watch that instead. Like, I need the context. Yeah, nah.
I get
people get away with it. Sports channels get away with it now with the 8-minute videos, but that's about it.
Yeah, I get frustrated because I tell you guys I plan 1-hour shows, but I don't have a producer. Everything you guys see on my show is me. So like, I will plan a 1-hour show. That shit end up being 2.5 hours long because I'm like, how do you guys talk about these complex issues in an 8-minute video? You know, how are we going to talk about Gaza and Israel in 8 minutes on any fucking topic? You know
any day, yeah, for real.
So I enjoy this new this format that kind of took off. Like there's no way I don't think I could ever made it back in the 5 to 8 minute era. That's not my thing. Yeah. HotSpot is good because I can hit my zingers in 2 minutes. So I'm good either short or long. Like that's why.
Hey, and Nick I gotta give Nick credit, y'all. It's very, very difficult. So we have an assistant producer that helps pick topics, but like Nick, bro, that motherfucker will have a topic ready every damn morning, like ready to go, just like that. And it's actually difficult to find topics because it's like you kind of want to figure out what's trending, but like you don't want to do some shit that's already been done. So like it's hard to catch that little wave of like. I know this is going to be popular. Even it may not be trending right now, but I know it's going to be. And Nick is really good at that, trying to figure and balancing it off with both domestic and foreign policy. He's like, he hit away, man. You've been killing it. I was okay with taking so much time off because like I was like, oh, Nick got it. He's like, I'm not fucking worried. Like Nick gonna be able to hold it down.
Appreciate you, brother. Big shout out to that's another man I gotta get back on the show. I now realize I saw you, my brother. It's been a while since we had Black and Empire on the show. I think the anti-imperialist summit. I don't want to bother too much, but we gotta have you back on, man. Black and Empire are killing the game. So appreciate the super sticker. We can read some more super chats here very soon. But that's why HotSpot like works for me because especially in the morning I wake up and I do a ton of reading. Like even when I used to sell cars, like people don't know when you sell cars, like we do our meetings and then we hit our people up and they're live a gap. So usually in the morning we do our meeting, long wait period. I do a lot of reading. You know what I mean? In between. Things haven't really changed.
I read when I'm doing cardio a lot of times, or I'm listening to audiobooks.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is hitting the bag in the morning. Now I got a heavy bag. That's something I've been doing a lot recently. But that's something I always do. It's a habit. I don't know when I started it. I wake up. I'll be in the bed. I'll like, all right, let's see what article catches my attention. Then because the time zone difference, Elena hit me up and she's like, all right, what you want to talk about? I like, bam, I got a few stories.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because you're about an hour behind. So like when you wake up, everything has already started popping. I got the opposite problem where I'm up and ain't shit happened yet. I'm like,
I'm Central Time, so yeah.
What am I supposed? Yeah, I'm in real time. So right now I'm 2 hours ahead of you. Before I was 3 hours ahead. So like I was like, hold up. So what am I? Like I just gotta wait, motherfucker. What am I supposed to do until then? Like I don't. Like,
and HotSpot helps because people have no idea how many stories I used to drop. I've been CJ talk about all the time. We have these long ass streams and we would still cut stories. So like HotSpot helped me squeeze all that stuff in between, like, and it helps me with my commentary as well because I'm forced to like do a lot of research on topics that I usually wouldn't read as much into. Like one thing I've been talking about a lot is Africa. I've been trying to catch up on Africa because people like Mari Kimberly and John Baraka, the Black Alliance Peace, that whole crew really motivates me. And there's a big.
Bro, I love talking about Africa. I love, and it's crazy. What I learned because of HotSpot was like that topic is actually much more popular than what it is just in general. Like, bro, some of my most viral videos from HotSpot have been about Africa. Like, and they almost didn't want me. Not gonna say they didn't want me to, but they were like, oh well, are you sure? And shout out to Elena, our assistant producer. She actually kind of went over somebody's head and was like, yo, we're going to talk about this shit anyway. And we did. And that shit got like 150,000 views in a day. So yeah, nah, it's dope, bro. I love the format. Once again, what I love also, like, it's a humble brag for me and Nick and the HotSpot team. Like, after we started doing HotSpot in this very unique format for Twitter, like, other people tried to start doing it.
Yeah, I noticed that.
They might get like 1 or 2 videos off, and then they're like, "Shit, man, it's hard to do some shit like this every day, every other day."
Guys, it's a lot of work, man. But go ahead,
bro. Yeah, y'all think the 3 minutes ain't, bro? That 3 minutes is work, dog. Like that.
These long streams are easier. It's easier to do long streams
because you gotta cram as much information, but also like you trying to cram information in, but get to the point, but also help them understand the implications of the information you're giving them, which is very difficult to do.
You gotta make it interesting too. You can't.
And you gotta make it. Yep. And for me, for the most part, I gotta do it every day. So it's but like it's a challenge, really. Like for me, it was kind of like almost revitalized me because it was a challenge. I'm like, shit, I gotta do this every damn day for 2 or 3 minutes. For somebody who likes doing long form podcasts, it wasn't like super easy at first. It was like we were trying to find a sweet spot. I'm like, because they wanted 30 seconds. I'm like, I'm not doing 30 seconds. For what I do, I'm not doing 30 seconds because I'm a firm believer in context. I don't really like shock value over context. Like I like shock value with context. Yeah. So and then we played with some stuff and got it down to about 2 to 3 minutes and like, okay, shit. And every now and then we'll go over 3 minutes. But if we went over 3 minutes, just know that's just a banger. If we went over 3 minutes, just know you got hit with some like the one I got today.
Greg be putting in work, don't he? Greg,
Greg, Greg be going crazy. Shout out to Greg, our editor. Also, just as a little sneak tip for today, guys. Shout out to JB. He showed me and Sabby some shit last night that kind of like made us do a double take. Basically, I'm doing a video today breaking down the fact that Nazi Germany, Hitler specifically, worked with the Zionist organization in Germany the same year as the Holocaust, 1933, to put them in Palestine before the Holocaust started and before World War II started.
Bruh, I can't wait till the HotSpot come out.
Yeah, that shit's crazy, bro. And I couldn't even do the whole thing, bro. I actually got to do a part 2 on Monday because the shit gets deeper. It's like that, dog. But yeah, the moral of the story is it looked like that shit was being set up from the jump. Like they used World War II as the excuse, but ironically, the same Zionists who benefited, in a lot was and participated in Israel being what it became after World War II, they were insulated from the Holocaust because they worked with Hitler before, and because they knew it was coming. So they knew it was coming. They left their Jewish people out to dry as long as they were protected. Yeah, bro.
Bro, people have no idea because guys, I'm a big student and fan of history. I'm not saying expert. I'm a student and fan of history. And as someone who read a lot of history, one thing you know is that the people that are living in that time period, they don't know the shit that we know right now. Yep. So y'all understand, World War II, it was not that long ago. There are motherfuckers alive right now that was alive during World War II. In the context of history, that's nothing, fam. So what I'm thinking about right now is what will people say about 200, 300 years from now when they have way more information than we have?
Yeah.
I mean,
or it's just being the basic information is being taught in school. Like, for example, when in the video you'll hear about it. I talk about the fact that it was the Zionists at the time, the Zionist experts at the time referred to it as Palestine. They referred to over and over and over again. It was called it's called the Havre deal. And they referred to it as the British Mandate of Palestine. So even though it was still under Britain, they were still calling it Palestine.
Yeah. When I was at the Kansas City, Palestine, when I was at one of the marches, they had a ton of speeches at the end. And I did my job as a citizen journalist. I posted this video from this 92-year-old Palestinian. And I really wish I got the whole thing. I got maybe a few minutes we played on the channel. I may play it again on the show again because it was a while. And I really wish I had the whole speech. And we had I have a better setup. Probably would have. I got like maybe 5 minutes. You can search it on my Twitter. I can probably find this into some of you guys. It's a great video. It's a 19-year-old Palestinian, and he explained how he lived under Israeli apartheid his entire life, and he explained how the state of Palestine was before the Nakba. So you know how what the Zionists lie about today? They're like, oh, there never was a Palestine. He's like, bro, I got a Palestine ID, bro.
Yeah.
And that's why you guys never think you never hear from these seniors, these elders, these people who can tell stories about pre-Nakba Palestine. And he like, these people that said there's no Palestine, it's absurd. I had all these IDs, there's all these documentation, there's so much evidence. And I'm not even doing his speech justice, because remember, it was like a 12-minute speech, like altogether. He went through in great detail, like the history of his life, how he like debunked Zionist lies. He's a guy you will never see on CNN or anything like that. He's a 19-year-old.
Because it gets too deep. It's like, oh shit, I didn't realize how fucked this shit was. It's bro. And once again, that's just a 1933. There's actually something else called the Balfour Agreement that happened in 1917 at the behest of Lord Rothschild. Like that was actually the first major transference of Zionists into Palestine, still called Palestine, by the way. So what the craziest part about the 1933 situation is kind of similar to the 1917 situation, which is that in order for all of this to take place, Hitler made that deal, but it had to go through Great Britain. In other words, as Hitler was ramping up to do the Holocaust and start World War II, and they were making this big transference from Zionists, 53,000 at that point, from Germany to Palestine, Great Britain had to approve it, which means they knew what was going on. And yet they allowed it to happen and then played fucking stupid when everything went down. Like, oh shit, I can't believe the Blitzkrieg happened. I can't believe the Holocaust happened. Oh. Like, bro, yeah, that shit's crazy, dog. It's like, oh, this seems like this wasn't like retribution. This was a plan.
Yeah.
Y'all had already given the land away, and to justify it in the eyes of the rest of the world, you use World War II and the Holocaust. But you had already given the fucking land away.
Why you guys think people like Dr. Norman Finkelstein have been studying this issue for decades? Like, it's crazy how, like, I think I'm decently well versed on this, but I'm still scratching the surface.
Mm-hmm.
I say this because I'm always learning new stuff. Like, I've read so much about this, still learning new stuff about this damn issue. I have Palestinian Community Network and other experts on. They'll tell me shit like, I didn't know about that. It's never ending. And one day there's gonna be there's gonna be a catalog of all the crimes of Zionists. I don't know if we're gonna see it in our lifetime. Eventually, when the Zionist project is ended, once the chapter in human history is written, this shit's gonna be recorded, bro. Like, we don't, and this is why my point I made earlier, we really don't fucking know. The same way they didn't know about what the Nazis were doing to Jews in the 40s, and many things as well. Like, people didn't know what the United States did to the Native Americans. I gotta get other examples because they was always focused on World War II for good reason, but there's other tragedies. Like, there's a lot of people who don't know what's going on in the Congo right now. That's what I was reading about as well. A lot of people don't know what's going on in that. Like, people don't understand the current snapshot that we're in right now. And I know this because I'm a fan of history. It's something that, like, the overall story is what the current populace don't actually understand. That's why we need citizen journalists. That what got me interested in this, because I'm like, what do we don't know? Yep. What do we don't know? Bro, anyway, Nick, I'll give you last one.
I was just saying, I was covering the Congo about 3 years ago. Like, before I moved to Brazil, like I mean, shit. Bro, it was before I even had dreads. I'm gonna put it like that. I was covering the Congo.
I remember short hair, Niko. I remember that.
Yeah, and I was like telling people, like, yo, this is a big deal. I don't know why not a lot of people were talking about this. Like, this is a problem. And France was ramping up to send troops in there, and what they were doing. So you know how they do when they discover resources. What they do is they create a reason for the military to go in, for, you know, in any given force, France, United States, whoever, using NATO powers, and they create like this barrier to protect that resource, claiming that they're protecting it from terrorists. And that's what basically was happening back then. And it's because they had discovered a bunch of shit, oil, lithium, cobalt, all that stuff. And obviously this was very, you know, it's at the onset of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. So all the military personnel and power had already been placed there to protect the resources for the West, but they used the terrorists as the excuse to put the military there. Like, it's crazy, the stuff that we don't, and it's, you know, I don't blame everybody, because like the reality situation is, Like, bro, we don't have enough time in the day. That's one thing that I struggle with all the time. Now I'm like, shit, bro, there's so much shit going on. I'm inundated with information. I do not have enough time in the day to do thorough enough research and tell everybody every story around the world, which is why it's also so important for us to do so many shows like this where we have other people on that are specialists in those particular areas, right? So it's good. So it's also really good that we've seen so much crossover lately. I'm not gonna lie, there's not really been as much crossover when I started as much as there is right now.
Yeah, there was just more vicious capitalists fighting for competition. Because remember, I think the left been fake for a very long time, and that included me. I made a lot of mistakes. You know what I mean? So before the quote unquote independent media space was people competing for MSNBC contracts.
Yeah,
that was considered the left. So if you're competing for an MSNBC contract, you're not going to invite each other on. What
it's
is
not
our
even
goal?
like hyperbole. There's literally people competing for MSNBC.
Yeah, we're on the same name. You guys know what the fuck we're talking about. We don't have the fucking same names. But now you guys see that our goal is to educate the proletariat, educate the working class and our neighbors. That's why we created the HotSpot video. That's why I'm like, man, I might will bring Q Anthony Ali on. He know way more about Africa than I do. He's a fucking legitimate historian. When I talk about Julian Assange, I'll bring Misty on because she's an expert at Julian Assange. We just had Mark Kimberly, our John Brucker, our dear elders, who we deeply respect here at RBN. That is what we do. This figmentated left, this figmentated dumb left that have been cultivated by the people we talk about, the professional managerial class left, the majority report TYTs. That dumb cultivated left where they just like, it's just vibes. We don't study, they don't study, don't read theory, don't study history. We need to reject that. I talk about this all show, and I give Niko like a lot of flowers for this because he's been someone who done a lot of research, taught me a lot of stuff about foreign policy, history, and that kind of stuff. We need a smart left independent media not even just media, but a smart left-wing movement. And I've seen the left in the United States. It's just dumb. And that includes who I used to be, you know what I mean? And when I talk to other people, other leftists around the world, when I talk to other people who actually had successful revolutions, when I even talk to just general European leftists, the United States left is a joke. So our goal is to try to improve the state of the left. I want to stress education, research, community. And I think that's what we are on the path of doing. But Niko, I'll give you last word. I'll read a few super chats.
Bro, that's 100% true. That's why the left get duped. That used to piss me off, Nick, back in the day. Like, it was weird because I had assumed, because it was this correlation that clearly needs to be, that research, whoever fucking made that research needs to read, because they said there's a correlation with being leftist and being educated, right? Then I realized it just meant literally you just have a certificate, because it doesn't mean there's a correlation with being leftist and being smart. Because I found out the hard way that the left, at least the so-called left at the time, was full of fucking idiots. They were full of dumbasses, and I was at one point being punished for not being dumb. And I realized that over time. I was like, hold up, am I being punished because I'm not a fucking idiot? Like, what the hell?
I still remember you, Fiorella. You guys would get a ton of heat for saying U.S. elections are rigged.
Like, bro, can you?
Like what? I was always on your side on that case. Like, I was just a watcher, observer back then. Like, you guys are mad because they were saying that the election was rigged from Bernie. Now think about this. You had people on the left that was upset because Niko and Fiorella was saying that the election was rigged against Bernie, for example. How does that make sense?
The same shit that Elizabeth Warren admitted to. The same shit that Bernie went on a whole tour with Eric Perez because Eric Perez admitted to it. And they're like, why would you? When people say, I don't know about the election being rigged against Bernie, I don't know if I buy that. What the fuck you mean you don't buy it? They told you what happened. they told you what happened. What are you talking about? Like,
Niko had been consistent, fam.
It was a wild ride. Like, I didn't, because I was naive, man. I was giving people the benefit of the doubt. Like, I know that the left isn't as stupid as they're pretending to be. And then you see who was elevated, right? You see Cenk, who's a Neanderthal. You see Sam Cedar, who's a Neanderthal and is just as dumb, if not dumber, and is also boring as shit. You see people like Destiny, even the Wikipedia wizard. Like, you got all these people who are being elevated to the top, and I'm like, I thought the left like smart people. Am I missing something?
Niko, that's exactly why I got into this. I'm like, bro, what's the fucking all these dumb people on YouTube? That's me. We talk about it all the time. That's exactly why me and CJ got into it. We're not saying we'd hold there than now. We're saying we're better than these morons, like most of you guys are. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? But go ahead, Niko. Bro, that's
that's basically like I didn't even think about it like that at the time. I'm just like, I realized at one point, I'm like, yo, like at one point in this particular space, I was the most qualified person to talk about any of these issues, like by resume, by profession, by experience, by understanding of what's going on. Like, I was the most qualified person on YouTube. And then I got to a point where I realized I was being punished for it because they're like, hold up, you're actually qualified to do this shit. We ain't trying to deal with your ass. We want to go listen to Jank and Anna. We want to listen to Anna bash Jill Stein for being a leftist, even though hold on, I thought you agree with everything she talked about.
Well,
like,
thank you, bash and condemn Julian Assange, what she did.
Yeah, like the bar was so low that Jimmy, who like is a sub of me, like I'm just a jack off comedian. Like that's basically what Jimmy is. Jimmy's like, I'm just gonna do the most basic level of research, and he took off for just having the most, he had the exposure at the time, but like he used it to his advantage. But that's my point. Is like Jimmy wasn't even an expert in any of this shit, and was able to take off by being kind of smart. Like just by being kind of smart, he took off. So like now we're seeing intelligence being rewarded, which is how it should be. Don't get it twisted. There are some spaces, we're not gonna say any names here, but there are some spaces where there's like this faux intellectual movement going on. Like they read theory and then twist it and to their advantage and take advantage of. It's like I call them Kendrick fans, just like Kendrick Lamar fans. Like fake smart niggas love Kendrick Lamar, right? Like it's like that. It's like the fake smart motherfuckers will love people who claim to be leftists, and it's like because those fake smart people are purposely or they acknowledging it and they don't care, but they're purposely ignoring the inconsistency in logic. For me, I know if you're smart by consistency in your logic or lack thereof over the course of an extended period of time. I can't tell if you're really smart in one video or two videos or even 6 months. It's like, okay, after I've seen about 2 years of content, I know that's something like a long time, but I'm not bullshitting. Like it takes a minute for me to figure out like if you're actually smart and you make a couple mistakes every now and then, or if you play smart and you just happen to be getting it right because you watch the right people, you know the wave that's going on, you know what's expected of you to say, or you're a contrarian and that's been working for you. But then when you actually get put on the spot about something, about like, what's your logic? Well, no. Well, this person said this and no. What's your logic? Why do you believe that? And then watch people crumble, watch people fold, like Ben Shapiro.
That's why I'm adversarial to these people now. Like I used to be like on the fence. All right, let's see if we can bring some of these people here. No, I'm adversarial because I think they're not this dumb. You know what I mean? Because with the Ukraine war, voting for Biden, bro. Me and Niko got so much shit. It was me, Niko, and Rome. We was 3 black brothers on Twitter, X, and on social media that was screaming from the top of our love, do not vote for Jim Crow Joe. You guys know how much enemies we made by simply doing that? And these dumb motherfuckers didn't listen to us, and now we got a genocide.
Yeah, and so now they over here like, what? We didn't say that. We never criticized y'all. Ben Burgess then disappeared. Y'all remember that debate? I debated Ben Burgess. Like, I couldn't believe that he had the audacity to want to debate me about whether or not we should vote for Joe Biden. I'm like, you really want to have this debate? Like, after I smoked him the first debate that we had.
I saw that.
And I'm like, hold up, you really want to debate this? Okay. Like, and he couldn't, he basically refused. He couldn't. What's crazy is if you go back and watch the debate, he like agrees with almost everything I say. And his conclusion is, but Trump is worse. Like,
that's just like Niko. That was like when I debated Robbie Schwab from The Hill, and I debated Destiny.
Oh, yeah.
The last 2 times after that, everyone was like, bro, stop, guys, don't invite this nigga on no more.
Too smart. Yep. We lucky that Sabby keep getting invited on. Luckily her and Bree are so close. But nah, like they're not gonna have, bro. I was supposed to go on The Hill and they canceled like last minute.
Of course they did.
They can't like they producer over like jumped over somebody was like, nope, can't have him. Nope. Like, why not? I'm not gonna say anything crazy. Like it really, and it was about election integrity. Oh, I know what it was. So you remember Crystal was a big Bernie fan, right? They wanted to have me on to discuss the flaws in Bernie's Medicare for All plan, which was still basically was still entrenched in the Social Security Act, which is extremely problematic because I was one of the only people with medical health. Like one, I've worked in health insurance before, and 2, I've actually written legislation for healthcare. So like they were like, oh no, hell no, we're not about to have this smart ass nigga come in here and make Crystal look like a fucking dumbass while she's running her. Like they weren't gonna do it. They weren't gonna allow it, which is like cool, whatever. But that just let me know, like, damn, bro, like, okay, so I actually get punished for being smart. That's the opposite of what I thought was supposed to happen. I thought you were supposed to get rewarded for being an expert. It's like, yeah, but you can be an expert, and as long as it's convenient for their narrative. But don't be an expert and expect somebody like and be against somebody and expect like that. There's a reason Destiny keeps getting brought on for these fucking conversations.
Every single time.
Right? Like,
oh, you had so many people that was tagging me in Piers Morgan. Like I've Rachel Piers a few times, so he know who I am. I would say Rachel like 1,000 plus like.
Oh yeah, I saw that shit. You did Rachel.
You know I mean? And then I saw like a lot of people like, why won't you have Nick on to debate? Piers never responds. Like, and then I had my clip with Destiny because I posted a clip when Destiny was viral strategically of me debating Destiny, and the people were like, why won't Piers? And I know there's a lot of people saying like, why won't Piers bring Nick on? These motherfuckers like, oh, but we don't know who this is. They try to pretend they don't know us because we get shit right. I was on the Hill, I debated Robbie, and I fucking dismantled him in 10 minutes. We were talking about authoritarianism, Venezuela, and communism. Then I debated Destiny about Russia versus United States, fascism versus capitalism. That was the thesis of the debate. He lasted 20 minutes before he started agreeing with me. He did the thing that Ben Burgess did to you. He started agreeing with me like, oh fuck, I can't hang with this nigga. So then
cutting you off and trying to hurl personal insults. That's what they
remember the Destiny show, he's like, hey man, I'll make sure I bring you on for future conversations. Hey fam, did that happen? No, this motherfucker like, let's get this motherfucker out the show real quick. But anyway,
bro, Destiny, the conference I used to go to, Better Discourse, Destiny got so upset at the way I fucking dismantled him that he told them that he would stop streaming their conference to his channel if they invited me back again.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because he got fucking embarrassed in front of everybody. And it wasn't the first time, because the year before, he thought he was going to slide because it was like him versus like 2 or 3 conservatives. Oh, no, 2 conservatives and a liberal. The liberal dropped out. So guess who showed up in their place? Fiorella. And he got embarrassed again. And he was not expecting it. And like to the point where the conservatives of the convention, the liberals and the leftists were all like, yo, who the fuck is she? Like, she's ripping this man. Everybody, there was a lot of people waiting to talk to Fiorella about how she destroyed fucking Destiny after that debate. So he was like, yeah, no more of that shit. Nah, but that's what happens, bro. Like, they don't want smoke for real. They don't want smoke for real. Like, yeah, it's cool.